Hi, everybody. I'm here with the miserable liberal Steph Zabarato and Ron Placone. Hey, how are you?
Hello.
Howdy, howdy.
How's your shirt?
Oh, hold on.
Oh, it's a tiny hands.
Can we see my Donnie tiny hands? Hold on. There we go.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Donnie Tiny Hands.
So you can get one of those right down there. So I just want to show you very quickly. People say I don't come down on Trump hard enough. I don't think you need to. I think he's already the most unpopular politician, president at this point in his presidency in the history of presidents. So really, again, the problem is that Trump is a symptom of the problem. He's not the problem. The problem is both political parties have turned their back on the workers in the country. That's what happened. And they got in bed with, both of them are in bed with Wall Street, the military-industrial complex, Big Pharma, and Silicon Valley. So that's what happened. So I'm just going to show you 3 quick ways that Trump has already betrayed you if you supported him. The first way is taxes. He said he was going to tax Wall Street. David Sirota points this out. He said, key detail of Trump's tax plan, he pledged to raise taxes on Wall Street executives, but plan is new tax break for those same executives. And here's the part he tells you about. He links out. He says, but one of the most significant changes would be a change in pass-through taxes, income from pass-through entities, including partnership structures used by hedge funds and private equity firms, as well as some small businesses and independent contractors, are currently subject to personal income tax rates. But under Trump's plan, that income could become taxed at the corporate rate, which could reduce the tax rate of some of the most affluent Americans from 39.6% to 15%. That's less than you pay. So the richest people in the world are going to be paying Mitt Romney level taxes because he's one of the richest people. He pays a lower tax rate than his secretary. So now the richest people in the world are going to be paying less taxes than you. Thanks to Trump, a billionaire, jagoff, liar, who's supposed to be the friend of the working man. Now, I don't blame you if you voted for him because you thought he was going to be a friend of the working man, because he said he was going to be. He's not. Neither was Hillary Clinton. Neither is Barack Obama. Neither is the Democratic Party. Do you see the problem? Do you see why Trump is president? People had nowhere to go. And that's what the Democrats were counting on, that people had nowhere to go. Well, they didn't go anywhere. They stayed home. That's what happens when you give them nowhere to go. They stay home. That's what happened in Michigan. That's what happened in Wisconsin. So there you go. So that's the first way Trump, he said he was going to tax Wall Street and the rich people, and here he is cutting their taxes immediately. That's his first tax. I want to cut taxes for the richest people and stick it to you. So there's number one way he betrayed the people who supported him. And remember, now here's another way. So Trump's going to build that wall, right? Are you going to build that wall?
The wall's going to get built, folks. Just in case anybody has any question, the wall's going to get built, and the wall is going to stop drugs, and it's going to stop a lot of people from coming in that shouldn't be here, and it's going to have a huge effect on human trafficking, which is a tremendous problem in this world, a problem that nobody talks about, but it's a problem that's probably worse than any time in the history of this world. Human trafficking, what's going on. The wall is going to get built, and we're setting record numbers in terms of stopping people from coming.
The wall is going to stop human trafficking? No, by the way, nobody talks about it.
Yeah, I noticed
what
that
is all
too.
that crap? What is that?
People talk about that all the time. Like there's so many that's such like a. I mean, I don't want to say like it's not a serious. Of course, it's a serious issue, but that's like one of those like. What's the way I want to put it? Like pop issues, you know, like a lot of like pop stars and celebrities will like get behind that because
human
it's not,
trafficking thing.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's kind of easy to grasp. Like it's like, yeah, that's something really shitty and it's awful and it's like, treating people really badly. It's maybe a little harder to understand than like fracking or something like that. So they'll be like, yeah, this is my cause. So yeah, people talk about it all the time. That's why, like, even Trump can understand that issue. That's why he knows it's a thing.
That's how he knows it's a thing. But I didn't know the wall was supposed to help human trafficking. Anyway, so here we go.
in and stopping drugs from coming in. You see the numbers down 73, 74%. I will say Secretary Kelly,
So the number's already down. Why you need to build a wall? If the number's already down, why you? He said the number's already down. 73%. Why?
General Kelly is doing an incredible job. And I was just with him a little while ago, and he said, we definitely, desperately need the wall. And we're going to have the wall built. I mean, I don't know what people are talking. I watch these shows and the pundits in the morning. They don't know what they're talking about. The wall gets built, 100%. Thank you very much. It'll start soon. Very soon. We're already preparing. We're doing plans. We're doing specifications. We're doing a lot of work on the wall, and the wall gets built. The wall is very, very important.
In your first term.
Well,
In your
it's
first,
certainly-
ask him in your first term.
yeah, sure. We have plenty of time. Got a lot of time.
Yeah, sure. Oh, sure. Sure. Or my second. So that's him. That's him. It's gonna happen. And guess what? Boom! Republicans abandon wall funding demand. This is all from this week. His tax things from this week. This from this week. The concession suggests lawmakers may actually be close to a deal to avert a government shutdown. This is from that article. Republicans facing the refusal of Democrats to fund President Donald Trump's border wall in an upcoming spending bill seem to have abandoned their wall construction demands as lawmakers work to avert a government shutdown. No wall money in the latest offer from Republicans, a congressional aide confirmed. So that's number two. That's your second one. They just did it themselves. They took the funding out. Here's what I don't get, Ron. Maybe you and Steph can understand to help me out in this. Why do the Republicans think they need Democrats to help them pass anything? They don't need the Democrats to help pass anything.
They do not. They do not. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why they think that, and I don't know what they're necessarily afraid of, other than just like there's so little support.
I mean, is this because they're trying to get through a filibuster over the budget in the Senate, but then they can just do reconciliation, right?
Mm-hmm.
If it's a budget issue, you can bypass the. So I don't understand why they're trying, but there must be something to it, so that I'm missing. So I'm sure people will tell me.
I think it's just damage control for the future, don't you? I mean, they realize how unpopular Trump is.
The wall is and Trump.
Right, like abandoning funding for the wall and stuff like
Apparently
that.
they feel like they need Democrats' votes, and this is what this is about. Why would they do? Do you think this is just some of the Republicans saying we don't want a wall?
I think so, yeah. I mean, I think they want in the future to say, well, we weren't behind this, because they realize how unpopular Trump is, how unpopular he continues to be.
He's pretty unpopular. He's the most unpopular president ever.
Mm-hmm.
And here's another. So that's two, the wall funding stripped. Number two, Donald J. Trump. We should stop talking, stay out of Syria and other countries. And this is the big one, by the way. This is the big betrayal of his base. He says we should stop talking, stay out of Syria and other countries that hate us, rebuild our own country, and make it strong and great again. So that's what he said before the election. That's what he was saying. Of course, we know some of Trump's biggest supporters are furious about his strikes in Syria. So that would be the big, that's just, by the way, these are just three I'm picking, but that's the big one. So I would say the taxes thing's a big one, the wall's a big one. And this would be probably even bigger. This would probably be the biggest one. People voted for Trump because he was a non-interventionist. He said it, how stupid we were to get bogged down in the Middle East, and we didn't even take the oil. So here's Mike Cernovich. Today, over 500,000 people have watched my videos and streams. 90% are real Donald Trump supporters. None want war with Syria. So he gets 500,000 views a day on his videos. 500,000 people. 90% are Trump voters, and none of them wanted war with Syria. Trump was like, too bad. I'm doing it anyway. Here's another right-winger, Paul Joseph Watson. I guess Trump wasn't Putin's puppet after all. He was just another deep state / neocon puppet. I'm officially off the Trump train.
Huh.
Now, he writes for Breitbart, right? I'm pretty sure. Look him up. See where he. I think he writes for Breitbart. He said it's been fun, lads, but the fun is over. I'll be focusing my efforts on Le Pen, who tried to warn Trump against this disaster, the disaster of bombing Syria. Here's Laura Ingraham. Missiles flying, Rubio's happy, McCain's ecstatic, Hillary's on board. A complete policy change in 48 hours. So he's betraying the right. So he's making a lot of, I don't want to say enemies, but he's making a lot of unhappy supporters on the right.
By the way, Paul Joseph Watson is actually an editor at Infowars.com.
Oh, Infowars,
yes,
not Breitbart. Yeah. Infowars. Wow. So he's against Trump? Officially, that's what he said. Officially.
Yeah,
I'm officially off the Trump train because of the bombing. Look at that. Look at that, Joseph Watson. Wow. That's a big deal, right?
Yeah.
I think that's a big deal.
Well, I mean, it's so interesting because, I mean, I feel like a lot of the stuff that we've been saying is just so obvious. The fact that, like, Trump is a symptom of a much bigger disease, just based on the simplicity of enough people in this country decided our system was so broken they want to hear what the reality TV star has to say. They want to see what he's going to do. It's like, hey, we really got to fix healthcare. Let's see what Guy Fieri has planned. Like, that's essentially, when you really strip it down, that is what is happening. And another thing that I think should just be very obvious that a show like this doesn't need to reiterate all the time, the whole idea of a Republican populist, that's an oxymoron. That's not possible. That's the snake oil that he sold.
Yes.
Enough people bought it, but you got to take a step back and realize, no, that's an oxymoron. The same way you can't be in bed with Wall Street and be for workers. Yeah, you can't have both those things, regardless of how many platitudes Tom Perez throws at it. You also can't be a Republican populist. Those two things are contradictory ideas.
Well, you could be a progressive Republican like Teddy Roosevelt, and he broke up he was the trust buster. So when this happened before, when when capitalism consolidated before, it was called the Gilded Age, and then Teddy Roosevelt came along, and you know what capitalism needs? Competition. Mm-hmm. So now we don't have competition anymore in capitalism, and this is what we get, right? We get a two-tiered society, upper 1%, and everybody else scrambling and fighting against each other. That's what this is, but you're right about that.
Yeah. There's certainly, like, gray areas, and there's some, crossover, but the whole, like, I'm a Republican populist, that on its own, like, no, that's
crazy.
not,
I
that's
know.
ridiculous.
I know. So that's your three ways Trump has just already betrayed his base. That's just three ways. I'll do another video next week, another 3 ways. So, and it's not that I hate what Trump proposed to be. It's not that I hate his people who voted for him or why they voted for him. I'm for smashing the establishment too. I'm for not being an interventionist like Trump said. I'm for draining the swamp like Trump said. Except he didn't do any of those things. He's an interventionist. He filled his fucking cabinet with the swamp. He's given tax breaks to the rich, to Mitt Romney, screwing you over. So I'm all for breaking the establishment. Now we got to do it again.